Hey everybody, welcome to a quick behind the scenes from the M1 Gear channel. I'm coming back from an all-day shoot out in the field. Started at 7 a.m. in the morning and the gear has to roll out again tomorrow. So because we had a very dirty day out on the construction site, I need to clean the gear.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
So what am I going to use to clean the cameras? We're going to use a brush. This is an old paintbrush we use just to get some dust off. Got to have some antibacterial wipes, something to get the dirt off, but yet will evaporate off the camera body. Of course, some microfiber cloths. You got to have something that's going to pick off the dirt, dry the body off, and not leave any residue from like paper towel, right? Like you want to make sure you use a microfiber. You don't want to create more dust. Of course, something to clean the lenses with. You got to have yourself a good lens cloth and a blower, which we'll also use on the body. And I do suggest some canned air. That's also something that we'll be using to clean inside the body because, like I said, it got really, really dusty. All right, let's get started by cleaning the C300 here. It got pretty dirty. This is the one that took the brunt of the dust. So first I like to start off with some alcoholic wipes, kind of get all the dust off. A lot of times I'll just kind of start with the easy stuff, right? Start with the cables, I wipe those down. The reason I like the alcoholic wipes is one, kills any germs you might have picked up out in the field, but also it evaporates and it's not water. Because the cloth has a little bit of dampness to it, picks up the dirt nice and easily. Now you still got to make sure you clean things like this, like the base plate. It's still got dusty. That dust could get sucked back up into your camera. It's going to get on your fingers and then on the outside of the camera. Make sure you wipe it all off. Now, monitor. Now this stuff, you're getting into the plastic, right? This is again really good to use the wipes for because you can really get in there and find all the cracks and crevices and just wipe it right out. It can only go so far because it's a cloth, and that's where some of these other tools are going to come into play here. If things articulate, make sure you turn them to get underneath where dust could have gone. The grommets were open because we were recording sound. I can't get in there with the cloth. This is going to get into my ports if I don't keep this clean. This is where that brush comes in the handy because I can now get into these cracks and crevices here. Really make sure that's dusted off. Any open ports, like I only had one microphone in there, so port number 2 probably got a little dust in there. So I want to just make sure I use a little rocket, blow all those ports out good. Screen. Screen's a little different. You got to be careful with your screens. Make sure you're using microfiber cloth and wipe all the dirt off with the cloth so I'm not scrubbing it. Then I'll take a clean wipe and then give it a light wipe over the screen. Just a light wipe, and then I tend to wipe it off again with the cloth. I also like to blow the buttons down, make sure you're getting dust out of them, but also make sure that no moisture got down in there and it's drying out right away. It's alcohol, it will dry out instantly with a little bit of airflow. There, that is feeling so much better already. Camera body. Now around your air vents you want to wipe off before you go blowing around because you could just blow that dirt back in. So wipe it off first, wipe everything you can around your air vents so you're not blowing more dust into it. Here's the way I look at it. The intake side is where the dirt came in. So I tend to blow out the exhaust side first. And then I'll blow on this side. Give it a little wipe down here. The brush might get a little dirty, so you just, wipe it off with the damp cloth. Wipe down some of this body here. You gotta open up your battery compartments too. Memory card slots. Obviously those need to be cleaned too, even though there were cards in there. Good little shot of canned air in there when you rock it. Make sure there's no dust in there. And then just wipe around the outside real quick. You would think the dust couldn't get in there. You would be wrong. Now this camera does have to go out tomorrow, so I need to make sure I do check its sensor. And sure enough, there's a little bit of dust on that. We'll take our rocket. Brush that off. If you're going to use canned air, do not aim it directly at the sensor. You're going to push it off to the side, and you're more of just blowing some air in and around it. You don't want to be spraying this condenser onto your sensor or the glass in front of the sensor. Use a rocket for something gentle if you're going to blow it on directly on the sensor. Looking pretty good. Call that clean. This is camera life.